All the greatest gains in life, in wealth, relationships, or knowledge, come from the magic of compounding interest, amplifying small, steady gains. All you need for abundance is to keep adding 1% more than you subtract on a regular basis. Kevin Kelly. My friends, each and every day, if you will just enter into your account 1% more knowledge than you had the day before. Don't worry about how long it takes you to master these charts. Why? Because once you master them, the world is your oyster. Once you understand the always winning method, once you understand how to read volume along with candlesticks and trend, you're there. You're there. Now, it might take you a while. It may be a lot of practice in the meantime. Don't worry about that. Just commit yourself to it. When you've committed yourself to it, you're almost there. All it takes is some time. Now, let's jump into these charts because we have some real decisions to make tomorrow, depending on how the markets end up moving. This is where we are right now. Stocks are mixed. Bonds are up. Gold, Bitcoin down. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. We have a green candle for the week. After 3 weeks of a down move, things have bounced back around. We can see this 2-day candle. That's the Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. This is the first day of the Thursday. And again, we can see that it's topped out right where it was yesterday. Since it was a down day, you can see where things in the morning went a little bit higher and then burned that off. So where are we at this point? Well, we have a green candle. Now, as we look at that candle closely, what do we see there? We see a wick on the bottom. So it's not just a green up candle with a long wick on top. It is a spinning top of sorts with a little bit of downward pressure on there, penetrating, in fact, that weekly trend line. So we will keep a close eye on it. Look at the volume. It's not up to the average volume yet, but it has one more day to go. So we'll be seeing what kind of volume we have there. And if indeed this is going to be something where we might decide to jump in tomorrow before the market closes with the first week of a potential reversal. So we're keeping our eye on the prize. Now, let's move to the NASDAQ 100. I'm going to go back to the 3 charts here in just a minute, but I want you to see the weekly here. It is well above that weekly trend line. The bottom movement's not even touching it. We had a weak week last week here too, didn't we? We had a red spinning top. It's gone from red to green. Even more of a push moving that up. We also want to see where the volume tomorrow is. We saw lots of volume last week, in fact, higher than those other up moves all the way back to this huge peak candle back on the week beginning the 17th of July. That was the latest peak to the most recent high. And then we saw things drop down. This was the peak to the most recent low. And look at the volume in the changeover. So both of those volumes are important. So we want to see where the volume is here, what kind of staying power this move might show us. Now, we look at where we are on the 2 days. Of course, clearly on that Tuesday, Wednesday push through the weekly trend line. And we see again today, in fact, it was an up day for the NASDAQ 100, 0.30%. So again, we see these half-day candles getting smaller, particularly there at the end of the day where it actually was less than the prior day. But we saw that yesterday too. So we will pay attention, see how tomorrow shapes up. What about 20-year bonds? Well, we've got an up candle there also. Let's take a closer look. When we look at it, we can see there I'm going to move this out of the way so we can, yes, little wick there, little wick on the bottom. Just barely see it there. But the candle itself, although it might be, the edge might be sitting, it is above that weekly trend line. Keep an eye on volume for tomorrow. What do we see on the 2-day? We see, of course, the 2-day. It has blasted through. Half day continues to move up for the day, 0.45%. May very well have a reversal, an up move on 20-year bonds to jump into tomorrow also. We'll be keeping a close eye on that. So far, the candidate that appears to be the strongest is probably the NASDAQ 100. The only thing that would give me a little hesitation is that little bit of down move on the candle. But again, as we look here at, I'm going to really be making my calls based more on what I see on the volume tomorrow. And of course, expect to hopefully see some more up move to make it easier to call that shot. But we'll see. We'll talk about it tomorrow. What do we see on gold? Down 0.17% for the day. Now, as we zoom into gold on the weekly chart, we can see that the corner of the green candle has penetrated that weekly trend line. But if we connect the trend line to where it was last week, and again, I'm a little hesitant on that because it was a spinning top last week. But regardless, we've got movement above that trend line on the weekly. We can see, though, the devolution of the volume since we had that low, well, about the same the week after, actually. So not the lowest low, but we do see where things perhaps stopped in the down movement starting on that week beginning the 14th of August. So we got a lot of things to look at. We can see that we're going into the third candle, the third two-day candle, 6 days of up movement. But we can see where things topped here with higher than average volume on the morning of Wednesday the 30th, and then sort of devolving since then. So we'll keep an eye, see which way gold is going to go, make a good decision if we're going to go long in gold or not. Let's take a look now at Bitcoin, down for the day 3.99%, roughly 4% here. Again, we see the lowest low most recently in Bitcoin, 25 flat. We see here the next week, 25.10. This week, 25.29. So we can see we're not reaching lower lows. We look on the two-day chart, we see that sideways slide. We look at this half-day chart, and you can see where things slid along. Look at that crazy volume in the morning on Tuesday the 29th, then popped up in the afternoon, and then rolled over strong, going back to the mean just about. Not yet, but seems to be heading that way, down in the morning, accelerating down in the evening. What I want to see Bitcoin do, I want to see it continue to pull back nicely and then give us a smooth, clean move up where we've got plenty of ease jumping in. We don't have to worry about where we jump in on that first week because it doesn't go up any higher. That's a crappy candle to jump in on. Better candle here. Not a great one here because you're not quite at the high, but you don't have a lot more room. So again, that one definitely not. Prefer to see it slide around here at the bottom for a while, giving us maybe some dojis once it dips and then start to crank up. That would be nice. We want Bitcoin to be chartable. By the way, Patreon members, I've already recorded for you the 3-Wave Trades video where I curate liquid ETFs and stocks with liquid options. That's available for you at the Patreon page. I'm going to email it out to you today, along with charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies, which I'll send to everybody else tomorrow. I'll release that at our YouTube channel. And, of course, our weekly vertical crossovers will be going out to our Patreon members. If you're not a Patreon member, become one because you get all that stuff every week. Plus, you immediately get our Welcome Aboard package, which includes the 3-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. You want to learn about options? Why not learn it while supporting us in a great 3-part series? That's where we are, folks, for the day. Be wrapping it up tomorrow with the weekly review and forecast for the week. Hope everybody in the States, at least, looking forward to a big Labor Day weekend. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.